No.
So they all say, no man, woman, or child to see.
Looking for this.
Not for us. His old profit lines is it just
I appreciate you replying to that email. I gotta get a little more information on that, something.
Yeah.
Something don't make sense. And I agree with the whole non-conforming,
Right. I mean, I get it that it's the same owner. If they want to relate it, erase the line, that's fine.
yeah, erase them. Make it easy on us all.
Yeah.
Derek, how you doing, buddy? Good.
better.
Some good wrestling matches with the boy, I see.
Yeah,
Done well.
he's doing real good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see wrestling now. Yeah, he's pretty fun to watch. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be against him. He's pretty fun to watch. Yeah.
He's 14, right?
13.
13.
He'll be 14 tomorrow.
He's 6 months older than not. He's 2 times.
Yeah.
So, he's a big young.
Yeah.
We have to be in the hallway, hopefully, no one's there. I know you're looking forward to it. Oh.
Y'all go back Friday? I gotta go Friday? Oh, teachers. Kids go back Monday. That's a teacher's work day. Y'all gotta be in front of here.
Mom says that's the day you watch movies. I wanna go, Dad.
Centennial Bowl. And it is. Oh, yeah. It destroys the lawn weekend.
Come on up, have a seat somewhere. We'll find you a seat somewhere. If not, we'll make the table at the very front. Then you can have a padded chair there if you want. Special. Yeah. I'm just finished, we're gonna get one more minute.
How could start with that?
No, you're all right, my friend.
Right on time.
That clock's fast anyway.
I think it's not.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Madison County Board of Commissioners regular business meeting. The agenda for December 29th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Fortunately, tonight, we do not have a long agenda, just a chairman's report, like 5 pages long. 3 pages. No, I'm just kidding. Approval of minutes of the November 24th, 2025 regular business meeting. Gentlemen, you have a copy of the minutes for December 1st, 2025 agenda setting work session. Please take a moment, look over those. If you see no discrepancies, I will entertain a motion.
Minutes be approved as presented.
Motion by Commissioner Chandler, second by Commissioner Adams. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, probably one of the I'm sorry, yes. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Adams?
Yes. 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 Most thing, because I would.
Oh, that's right. All right, thank you.
Yes.
Motion carried. Before I go into, item number 4, welcome back, Brian Kirk. Glad to see you, buddy.
Yeah. Glad to be.
Business involving guest groups or multiple visitors. Probably one of the best things we do as a Board of Commissioners is able to recognize people in our community that excels. Tonight, we are going to do a proclamation recognizing Beck Farms as a Georgia Centennial Family Farm. Before I get into this, Mr. Beck, thank you.
You gotta speak later, Don.
That's all right. I followed this along with many others on Facebook of your accolades for being a Centennial Farm. But as not only a friend, but for a member of this Board of Commissioners, I want to say thank you for all your hard work. I've never known you not to be anything but.
And for all your hard work in farming.
All right. Proclamation honoring Beck Farms as Georgia Centennial Family Farm. Whereas the Madison County Board of Commissioners proudly recognizes Beck Farm for receiving this distinguished Georgia Centennial Family Farm Award, a testament to more than a century of dedication of Georgia agricultural heritage. And whereas the Georgia Centennial Farm Program, established in 1993, honors family farms that have been continuously maintained and operated for over 100 years, thereby preserving the state's rich agricultural traditions. And whereas since inception, the program has recognized more than 620 farms across Georgia under the administration of the Historic Preservation Division of Georgia Department of Community Affairs and partnership with Georgia Farm Bureau Federation, Georgia Department of Agriculture, Georgia EMC, and Georgia National Fairgrounds and Agri Center, and the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension. And whereas Beck Farms, family owned and operated by Jerry Beck and his daughters, Cindy and Deborah Beck, stands as a cornerstone of Madison County agriculture, producing a wide variety of vegetables, fruits, and high-quality pork while operating greenhouses, raising livestock, and cultivating seasonal crops to sustain and enrich our local economy. And whereas their recognition as Georgia Centennial Family Farm reflects not only their unwavering commitment to farming traditions, but also their vital role in strengthening Madison County's agricultural identity and supporting the prosperity of our citizens. Gentlemen, I would entertain a motion to adopt this proclamation.
I'll make the motion, this proclamation be adopted as stated. Second motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Adams and a second by Minnie. That's how I'm going to put that. Now, any discussion on that, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Chandler?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Madison County Board of Commissioners extends its heartfelt congratulations to Beck Farms on the remarkable achievements and commends the Beck family for the enduring contribution to the Georgia agricultural heritage and the Madison County community. So resolved by the Madison County Board of Commissioners on the 29th day of December, 2025. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You all serve so many, and every weekend that I go through Isla, I see the stands and the people parked there. Thank you, thank you. Please come forward. We got somebody to take a picture, Lacey. We'll let you be the photographer for tonight. That thing's always in my face. I think it does sometimes.
Hey, Todd.
Good to see you, old boy.
Oh, Dennis, hey, Jerry Beck, how are you doing? You know, I believe you're the same Dennis that me and old Jerry Lee Carey and all you.
We don't want to talk about that.
That's just a copy that I read.
I did tell Terry how I used to haul hay for you when I was in high school.
Come on around.
Y'all
Let's
get up front.
Y'all get the girls up front.
Y'all get up front.
Y'all
We'll get the working bunch up front. There you go.
behind the chair. That's good. All right.
Thank you
Thank
so
y'all very
much.
much.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
y'all.
tonight.
Thank you.
Anytime, and y'all got some good girls now. I'm expecting this to say.
Can I get cantaloupes, 2 for 1 or anything?
Let's do it like that.
Thank you. Thank you for everything y'all do. Congratulations.
Yeah, they'll let you pay for 2 and get 1.
That's right. Got 2 for price of 3, and the third one, no extra.
Sending them. Y'all are welcome to stay for the whole meeting. You can. If you would like to go, you're welcome to. But I want to say one more thing. You think about how many farmers there is in Georgia. And y'all are only in the top 620 that ever been recognized for a 100-year commitment. I mean, wow. That's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of sweat, a lot of anguish to be able to sustain that long. There's a lot of farmers that tried and a lot of farmers that failed. Well, for anybody that knows your daddy, if he knows going to succeed, it'd be that man right there. Thank you. All right. Chairman's report. I went a little bit off the rails, but not too far. Chairman's report. First, I would like to thank a few special organizations for their contributions to our food bank and our various toy drives. The Sheriff's Office employees, the government complex employees, the school system, and all the students and the Retired Teachers Association that contributed, church groups and religious organizations for all they did to serve the citizens in time of need. And to the individuals throughout our great county that came together to donate not just their time, but their money to make this Christmas special for so many. Miss Jackie and her staff at the food bank assisted 71 families for Christmas. That's 190 children, 307 adults, because of the citizens of this county and their contributions to our food bank. The Sheriff's Office Kids Heroes Shopping was another huge success as well, serving kids from every elementary school. I would also like to thank our staff for putting together Pictures with Santa. Here at the courthouse, I had 139 kids participate in those pictures with the Tax Commissioner Lamar Dalton and Lacey Baker at the helm. It was another great success. It means a lot, and I would invite anybody in this county to tour our food bank. See what that food bank's all about. It's a really heartwarming event to walk through there and see what the citizens of this county does for others. Please take the time to do that. And because it's the last meeting of 2025, I did not want to get in the weeds too much of all the details of what we've had going on for 2025, but it has been trying, to say the least. County government is like no other. It's not just what's going on in the federal government. It's not just what's going on in the state government. The county governments face a lot of the same challenges with way less employees and a much smaller budget. With that said, we still are connected in some ways to the state and the federal government. Sometimes I think county governments are the brains behind it all, with a lot smarter people running it. The county level is at the forefront of it all. We pass down what the state sets forth, and yes, we receive the blunt end from the citizens on the pushback and are left trying to explain what we didn't always create. Why are we always on the receiving end from citizens? Because we actually are the boots on the ground for the state and the federal government. We are the proving grounds of whether it'll work or whether it will not work. Counties and cities alike follow rules handed down, as we are the buffer for larger government. We are the offices that you can walk into and be heard from. We strive daily for answers to your questions and/or explanations as to why things are the way they are. We also strive for transparency. I personally feel We may be the most transparent county in the state of Georgia. From open records promptly replied to video recordings posted of every meeting with minutes soon to follow. There's been a lot accomplished in 25 and a lot more to come in 26. It will take the continued hard work of our employees to make these progressive strides. From a board's perspective, it's been a hard year with many challenges and adversities, but we got through it, as we will this coming year as well. I do want to thank the citizens of this county for their continued support in what we do every day. Without you guys, we would just be shuffling paperwork for the state, I guess. I really don't know how to explain it, but it's tough, everything we do. There's a lot of sleepless nights by all the commissioners, a lot of sleepless nights by a lot of the employees. There's not one vote that goes here easy, except for those proclamations. That's the reason I said it's the best part, because you finally get to recognize others. But I'll conclude my chairman's report with that. We'll have 2026 next week, Monday, the 5th, I think. And we'll try to lay out a little bit in the chairman's report of what that year is going to look like. So, statements, remarks from citizens on agenda items. Hearing none. Public hearing. Matt DePalma, applicant owner of Wednesday Investments, is requesting a conditional use for the 5-acre property to allow the operation of a transfer station on the property. The property is located at 0 Business Drive in Hull, map 0046, parcel 049-05 in District 3. Mr. Pruitt, is that labeled correctly, public hearing, because I wasn't?
Yeah, we're doing a public hearing here. This is a voting hearing.
Okay, so we'll start over from scratch.
Yeah, we didn't go through the planning commission level.
But we will still go through this level.
But we start here at the board of commissioners level.
All right. So with that being said, anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Yeah.
Good evening, David Ellison here on behalf of the applicant. This is our second appearance before this body, so we are familiar with our application. We're asking that you please approve our conditional use with the proposed conditions being offered. This property is zoned industrial. It's surrounded by industrial properties. Our client actually owns several of the surrounding properties as well. We believe this is an appropriate use of this property in this industrial park. It's been in zoned industrial for quite some time. And so we believe that our conditions strike an appropriate balance to allow my client to enjoy a reasonable economic use of this property, while also protecting any concerns from the community. I just want to point out that our conditions are offering operational setbacks, required buffers, and other language and requirements that are actually more rigorous than what are under your code. We have to also comply with all EPD regulations. And so we believe under these circumstances, it will be unconstitutional to deny this application. We ask that you please approve this subject to these proposed conditions. And we're happy to answer any questions. We also reserve any additional time for rebuttal.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Please come forward one at a time. She's coming up from the back. State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Ann Hurst, and I live at 138 North Chaparral Court. And I sent all of you gentlemen on October the 6th this, and you saw fit to, not because of my efforts, but other people's efforts and consideration of this application, you saw fit to deny the permit. And then I sent this to you last week, except for you, Mr. Higdon, because you don't vote. And there's several issues that have not gone away. Number one, the wear and tear on the roads, particularly James Holcomb Road. And I have been almost run off the road by these 10-wheel garbage trucks cutting off Charlie Bolton. going down. And, according to the, well, this comes under safety, but according to the conditions for conditional use of the transfer station in number 8, he says that all vehicles with more than 6 wheels and under the owner or operator's control will be directed to access the facility on Highway 72 and not travel along James Holcomb Road beyond Business Drive. Even now, that is not occurring. They're cutting off Charlie Bolton and coming to that, you know, an 18-wheeler on those sharp curves on the narrow road, they're going to cross over the center line. They do it now, the 10-wheel trucks. And so those are safety conditions, and then the wear and tear on the road. He, on November the 4th, 2024, Wednesday, investments demanded that county make certain repairs and maintenance on Business Drive. And it seems by that demand, Mr. De Palma is admitting that his trucks will cause wear and tear and damage to the streets concerned, and that he's expecting the county to bear the cost of that. And then the surrounding property values, I believe, are certainly going to go down a certain percentage. I totaled up the estimated property taxes just on my street, North and South Chaparral, and according to the Q Public little thing they have, we pay $37,000 a year in property tax just from the Oak Bend, North and South Chaparral. I think that's about 10 or 12 households. Is the income from this development, is that going to make up? I mean, how is the industry tax? Is it just property taxes? Because they're not going to exceed that in property taxes, and you're going to be paying a lot more in keeping up the roads. And then there's the safety issues, and there's not going to be any, it seems like, deceleration laying off 72 for these 18-wheelers to get in there and then getting back out on 72. But they may go down James Holden Road and cut around to the light. I don't know, but thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
I'm Deb Shipley. I live on 176 North Chaparral Court, and it's a neighbor of mine. The back of our property pretty much faces through the woods, through the field, and then across James Holcomb is where this facility is supposed to be set up. My understanding now is that this is a 3-sided structure. It is going to be open on one side. And the best I can tell from the conditions and of the settlement, the front of that open building is not going to face Business Drive. It will face the back of the property, which faces us. I'm concerned about the smell. I'm concerned about the noise. I'm concerned about the traffic. I sent a letter with some questions to the board on December 9th. I've heard no response so far about this. Particular questions I had when I read the settlement agreement was under Section 7. We were talking about hours of operation. It says that they're not going to accept or transfer waste outside 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. hours of operation. But in the event that they have collected all throughout the day, and there's trucks there at 6 p.m. and they continue to take trash, are they going to be allowed to process that overnight? Is there going to be a bulldozer scraping across a tipping floor after 6 p.m. at night? I sit out on my porch at night. I'm going to hear that. I'm not happy about this idea of the transfer station. Secondly, in Section 8, we talk about roadside debris and traffic control. They use the terms under the owner or operator's control and restricting vehicle traffic over 6 wheels. I guess the question is, what does under control mean? And who and how is going to enforce these restrictions? And what will the trucks be required to do when the railroad crossing at James Holcomb is blocked? It happens several times during the day, frequently enough that if there are trucks coming in, 18-wheelers that come in and they can't get across the railroad tracks on James Holcomb, what are they gonna be required to do? And how do you consider them to be under control of the operator? Is that just an exclusion that we need to consider? And then the condition of the roads. I mean, when it's been about a year now since they fixed that railroad crossing at James Holcomb. Before, it was almost impassable. I've tried to get over there with my van and my camper, and I had it bottom out on the tracks. And that's just from residential traffic primarily. I mean, it does not seem like it's going to be a happy solution to have this thing here. That's the best that I can come up with right now. But I'm concerned. This is not a happy place to put in my backyard. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Danielle Monroe. My husband and I own property at 186 James Holcomb Road. The two properties owned by Wednesday Investments, AAA Sanitation on Business Drive. They share a back property pin with ours. Our building is residential, even though they said there's only commercial near them. We have residential right there. The three lots come together to form a point. One of the lots owned by AAA Sanitation does separate our two properties. However, the property becomes more narrow as it comes to the property pin that we all share. The distance from our residential building to the property pin is roughly 435 feet. However, if AAA Sanitation should in the future decide to clear all the way to their other property line, our buffer from the proposed transfer station shrinks tremendously. In the conditions for conditional use of the transfer station in Section 6, there is no mention of any vegetated border between us and them. Secondly, it is suggested that the transfer station is a need and a benefit to our county. However, according to the Northeast Georgia Solid Waste Management Authority, our county's current disposal practices are adequate to meet our current demands. The Northeast Georgia Solid Waste Management Authority has looked at future projections up until 2031 and has determined that our county is not in need of a new transfer station. If anything, our county needs to address its recycling issues. Our county's estimated population growth to 2031 is only 11.77%. Our MSW tonnage projections for 2031 are only 7,352 tons. AAA Sanitation, according to Northeast Georgia Solid Waste Management Authority, only has a contract with one Madison County cities right now, which is Comer. The city of Danielsville and Isler are contracted out through Waste Pro. I would like to address the fact that Wednesday Investments AAA Sanitation is a garbage collection company that collects municipal waste in multiple counties, and it's going to be bringing that municipal waste back into Madison County. I was looking at Madison County's Georgia Code of Ordinance, and in Section 5472, it states the disposal of solid waste generated in other counties other than Madison County shall be prohibited in Madison County, but yet he's bringing trash from other counties into our county. Fourth, looking at surrounding counties' transfer stations, the land AAA Sanitation is proposing to put a transfer station on appears inadequate. Jackson County's transfer station sits on 137 acres. It has two driveways going to the property, one for residential and one for collection vehicles and bigger trucks. They have two buildings for dumping separate, the residents from the commercial operations of collection vehicles. Additionally, Hart County's transfer station sits on 179.9 acres, while Madison County's current transfer station sits on over 100 acres. All three of these transfer stations sit on over 100 acres of land. It begs the question as to how AAA Sanitation plans on operating this transfer station on 5 acres of land at a standard that will not have a negative environmental impact on the surrounding community. Furthermore, the EPA has created a waste transfer station manual for decision making. On page 8 of this manual, it states, although cost effectiveness will vary, transfer stations generally become economically viable when the hauling distance to the disposal facility is greater than 15 to 20 miles. In consideration to this, AAA Sanitation currently has a contract with Comer. Considering that Comer is 14 miles from Overthrow Landfill, it is within the hauling distance guidelines. Now, if they were collecting in Danielsville, they would be 22 miles from the Banks County landfill. This still is not a far deviation from the guidelines of the greater than 15 to 20 miles. Taking this into consideration, this proposed transfer station should not be a huge economic advantage with the investment, AAA sanitation. On page 16 in the EPA manual, in the section labeled sufficient space for on-site roadways, queuing, and parking, it states that transfer trailers that move waste to a disposal facility are typically 50 to 70 feet long. These vehicles need wide roadways with gradual slopes and curves to maneuver efficiently and safely. This is addressed again on page 25, stating that curves and intersections along roads on or near the transfer station site need large turning radii so that the rear wheels of the trucks do not run over the curbs or off the road when making moderate or sharp turns. James Holcomb Road is a narrow residential road that has blind spots and is extremely curvy. In front of our property alone on James Holcomb Road, there's a sharp curve that's already difficult to maneuver with the rate of traffic we currently experience. With more traffic as the trucks travel to and from the transfer station, the curve is going to get more and more dangerous for the community and our residents. We already have had vehicles go off the road in this curve, crashing into our trees. Another issue to address is that the train blocks the main access to 72 at times. When this occurs, traffic routes are detoured through more residential areas, causing more damage to these roads. Item 3, the conditional use of transfer station that was provided brings up the queuing of the vehicles on public roads. This item is addressed more in the EPA's manual. On page 38, it states that any queuing should occur on the transfer station site so as not to inhibit the traffic flow on public streets. Queuing on streets creates public safety concerns, blocks traffic and access to adjacent properties, and in some cases causes damage to streets not designed for heavy vehicles. Exhaust from idling trucks, engines queuing on public streets can also create air quality and health concerns. In a conditional use document that was provided, it states that this queuing is to be done on the property itself. But how is this going to be guaranteed when AAA sanitation currently has workers' cars parked along the business drive, not in parking spots? In addition, the section of the manual on page 38 references air quality concerns from the exhaust of these idling vehicles. This is yet another concern for our residents and for the surrounding businesses. We also are concerned about an increase in noise pollution associated with the increased truck traffic. Thank you.
She covered a lot right there.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else different than that?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I may have missed it because it's hard to hear. I could not hear a lot of what you were saying, and I didn't get your name.
David Ellison.
David Ellison. Okay, thank you. One thing I did not hear is the water. A lot of us are on the board.
What's your name and address?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary Wooten, 153 Dogwood Drive, which is right down from Chaparral. That's already been mentioned? Okay. So we.
Talk to us.
Okay, oh, thanks. I just wanted to correct that you are not just surrounded by industry. They are not, that is not, that we surround us too. And, so I second some of the concerns about the smells and the toxins. I didn't hear anybody mention the water. A lot of us are on board well. This is an area that does not have an aquifer, like Clark County, over Clark County. It changes at Madison County, which, by the way, is the beginning or the end of the Appalachians. In case you didn't know that, pretty interesting. It becomes a filtration system at Madison County. So all of our water is filtered through the granite. We're not accessing springs or wells or an aquifer. So my little bored well right down from this could be poisoned very quickly. And it is literally out my front door. I could walk up the hill and be there. So I just wanted to address the water and again reiterate the policing or the monitoring of what's going into our ground up there. Who's going to do that and how's that going to happen? And how are we assured of being safe from that leaching into our granite filtration system into our wells? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
David Carey, 76 Madeline Court Hall, Georgia. I want to address the lawsuit. It's my belief that this board should not enter into a settlement agreement in the dispute with Wednesday Investments, LLC. Without knowing the exact reasons for the original denial of the conditional use permit the consent final judgment, Exhibit B, may be reasonable if actually followed. But my objection is the court process path which brought it to this point. You either meet the established zoning restrictions and stipulations, or you do not. Bypassing the zoning decisions being the court system should not be allowed to proceed without defending the decision. And if necessary, the case should be taken to a final court ruling on the validity of that decision. Lacking a quasi-judicial appeals board, as referenced in House Bill 1405, it falls on this board of commissioners to make the final decision on contested rezoning issues and how to proceed. Although there are times when zoning guidelines need to be updated and variances be allowed on an individual cost, benefit, and community input basis, court filings should not become the standard to get what you want. If this board does not stand up against the court challenge, other industrial property owners will see this as the way to circumvent the restrictions applied to their property and all future rezoning attempts. And the development of our county is to be planned, maintained, and implemented with any kind of order and with the welfare of the residents in mind. This board should not capitulate to this court action. Just because you're being sued does not mean you're wrong. That's it. Thank you.
All right, anyone else?
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. Alan Guest, 396 B Island Road, Danielsville, Georgia. That's why I own a business on Business Drive, been there for 25 years. Been before this board on this a few times. I've got a couple of questions I'd like to ask the board. If you would raise your hand for a yes, no hand for no.
Remind the board,
Yeah.
this is his chance to talk, you don't talk.
Yeah.
I would like to get a rebuttal after other things are said, if that's possible.
No,
Yeah, you can't do that
that's
either.
not part of the zoning procedures law.
Anyway, go right ahead.
All right, how many have actually been there to see the situation? The road, the narrow road, the sharp turns, the safety issues go along with it. The road's in terrible shape. You know, my belief is, since we can't ask questions, my belief is the county is responsible for the maintenance. I think the county's doing a terrible job now. There's trash up and down the road. You can only assume it's coming from trash trucks, and you can only assume it's gonna get worse. It's just, you start adding a lot of tractor trailers to it, you cannot fit a car in a tractor trailer in them turns. It's dangerous, very dangerous. I firmly believe that none of you would like your families driving on that road daily, meeting these trucks, being run off the road, hitting potholes, all those kinds of things. You know, just, the roads are not safe like they are. The county's taking on a lot of responsibility, either in liability or in making the roads proper for that kind of situation. You know, if this passes, please do it as quickly as possible, because it's a problem now. You know, I sent questions to the board 3.5 months ago. You know, what's, same thing they said, how much money is this gonna bring to the county? How much money is it gonna cost the county? I don't think anybody even knows yet. You know, those questions were asked a long time ago. I think we've had time to research it, and I don't know if that's been done. I'd like that addressed if possible. Also, would like to ask the board, have y'all looked at the covenants for that business park? I signed one 25 years ago. There is a covenant in there that said, if you don't build in 24 months, the county has the right to buy the property back at cost. I think that'd be an avenue for the county to avoid a lawsuit and make this problem go away, because the area is just not suitable. please look at that. I say we're disinterested, but yes, please look at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Charles Jameson, 239 Coral Strickland Road. For what everyone before me has said far more eloquently than I could, I want to stand in opposition to this, and I really resent the notion that if I don't get my way and I can't shove what I want down the throats of my neighbors, I'm going to sue you. And that really grates me, and I'll be brief.
Thank you.
I haven't appeared at one of these meetings in 20 years, I think it's due time. My concerns are for the citizens of our county. I'm Carol Roach, 25 Dogwood Drive. I live in the same neighborhood as Ann Hurst. She only stated tax for her street, and that's approximately 10 houses. We got about 65 houses in that neighborhood now, so you can just multiply that by the rest of them. But my concern is heavy traffic, strong odors, smells. I don't smell that, do you? You went back to your backyard? I know you can't answer that. It attracts rodents and pests, birds, insects. Property values go down with me. I don't care about property values, but I'm going to die there, so that'll be the next person's problem. That probably won't be too far in the future. But anyway, air pollutants. They are, it will drip into the groundwater, and all of us own wells. What happens if that groundwater gets to our well system? Probability of cancer. I know that's not a popular thing to say, but yeah, it's health risk. Probability of cancer. It can go into the ground system, but if you put it that close to us, you're going to be putting a target on us for rodents, rats, insects, and I didn't pay for this. And I know they said they'll sue me. I got a question for you guys. I read about 25 years ago on the wall, actually of a restaurant. It was a Hispanic restaurant. And it said, I'd rather die on my knees than to live on, I'd rather live on my feet than die on my knees. What do y'all think about that? Do you want to cow down to everybody coming behind them? No. If this one hits you by lawsuit, there will be 10 more behind them. And no, I do not agree with them disturbing my lifestyle. Residential areas is undesirable for residential areas. You got one company wanting to transform our neighborhoods into dumping grounds. I'm not good for that. Like I said, it won't mean a whole lot to me long term because I'm not going to be here long term. But it might be something to y'all. And 90% of you people have kids or you have grandkids. Do you want them drinking that water? Think about it. I would not want my kids, which I don't have any kids, but I have a dog, I want him drinking it. I bought bottled water for my dog today because we were out. No. But my thing is, do we want to bring this kind of business into Madison County, into our own backyards? I really don't think so. I don't think y'all agree with it either. And I don't think y'all, that being sued thing, that bothers me a lot. Because if they sue us, 10 people behind them are going to sue us. And I don't think you need to bow down to anybody but the Lord Jesus Christ, and that's it. But I appreciate the time, and I hope y'all have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? All right, hearing none.
One more.
Okay, come on.
Dan Basco, we're from 363 James Holcomb Road. We're brand new to the community, just moved in, and I just want to say, I love small business, free enterprise. I love to see people succeed and grow, so this is nothing against that, but we've lived across from a waste transfer station before, and where we live right now, we're currently just right across from AAA. 5:36 in the morning, they're moving equipment and trucks around, and that's okay. We can get used to that. But to bring in that kind of traffic to a waste transfer station, where we lived before, all hours of night, we'd have great big bins moving in and out. That is a very narrow road. But the problem I have is that train. It blocks the road. And then anybody wanting to go anywhere is stuck. Sometimes 20 minutes, I've seen 6 hours with the train just sitting there. And so if all that traffic coming to a waste transfer station gets caught behind that train, what happens to our little community road? Then there's the safety of exiting and crossing onto the number 29. That also is a very unsafe intersection. There's not even a turn lane to come in off of the highway going northeast to turn onto James Holcomb Road. So I just don't think it's the right spot for it. I would love one closer. I was at the other transfer station on Saturday, a 1 to 2 hour wait. So I know there's a need for it. But to bring it right here, right surrounded by residences, I-211 well water, that road is narrow. My granddaughter's been run off the road by a truck coming down on one of those tight corners. Things happen, but it's a small little residential road. So I just want to voice that opinion. But thank you so much for hosting this meeting.
Thank you.
Good comments.
All right. No one else? Mr. Ellison, you have the rebuttal.
Thank you. I'll be brief.
You can't hear.
Thank you. The reason why we're here tonight, and the reason why my client wants to use this property as a transfer station, is because the land use policy for this county is adopted dating back decades. This property is part of industrial park that I believe was assembled in the late 1990s, and it's been zoned industrial ever since then. This property, as staff report notes, is located in the whole Colbert character area where industrial uses are encouraged. So this business use is consistent with the comprehensive plan. So these are decisions that this body and previous bodies have decided is an appropriate use for this particular location. And we don't believe it's appropriate, in fact, believe it's unlawful to penalize a local business owner that acquired this property with the reasonable expectation that it could be used for industrial use. Many of the comments tonight would be complaints and concerns that be addressed with any type of industrial use. In fact, many of the industrial uses that are authorized by right would have more intensive industrial uses, require more traffic, raise more environmental concerns than a transfer station. We believe that we can operate a transfer station by right under your local zoning ordinances, but we've agreed to these conditions to provide protection. There have been concerns about environmental and water. There's a reason why there are operational setbacks in here. There's a reason why there's specific requirements for stormwater management and wastewater. And these are conditions that we offer that are more rigorous than your existing ordinances to address each and one of these concerns. That's why we believe it would be an incorrect and illegal decision to deny our application when we have these conditions for each of these expressed issues. So we'd ask that you please approve this conditional use subject to these conditions. It's just one final legal matter. Need to object to the legal standing to those opponents here tonight. For the record, because we do not believe they've satisfied their requirements under Georgia law to file a legal challenge should you approve this. Thank you.
All right.
Can I have a rebuttal?
Close now.
Yeah.
He's already done the rebuttal, unless you got something completely different off topic.
We can't, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So so that there's state statutes that are called zoning procedures law, and they mandate pro against rebuttal, and then it's done.
Yeah. All right. So the floor is now closed. We will bring it back before the board, and gentlemen, I will entertain a motion. Mike, is there anything you'd like to add or bring us up to speed for? If anybody's got a question prior to making a motion, feel free to ask myself and or.
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
All right, gentlemen.
Sometimes we find ourselves in areas where we agree and disagree. And some things we maybe agree more and disagree more on. However, after consideration and considering the vote that I had last time, and then after some review and some additional information, brought through and additional consideration of the application, and standing by the land use plan and the EPD's concern or rules and regulations, I I'll make a motion that this conditional use application be approved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Doster, do I have a second?
I'll second this.
I have a second by Commissioner Adams.
And just to clarify, that motion is with the conditions, outlined in the last 3 pages of this, 1 through 13. Is that correct?
That's correct with that package, yes.
Your second includes the conditions 1 through 13, okay. So I have a motion and a second, gentlemen, any discussion?
Has everybody seen the conditions that are attached to this? Not we put them up, but anybody has any specific questions about the conditions?
Who's going to enforce these conditions?
That's a good question. Who is going to enforce them?
So I will take this brief. The majority of everything that's been said here tonight is not a county-controlled issue, other than traffic. Highway 72 is also DOT, all water, groundwater leakage wells, all EPD. And that's really the gist of it. The traffic and road concerns would be the county. Everything outside of that is outside agencies, meaning normally the state. So that's really all I'm gonna get into the weeds on that one. But I really can't ask questions back and forth, but we can do it this way.
So we can't speak to Mr. Chandler's question, I mean, he offered.
He's not asking the public, I don't think. I think he's asking the board of commissioners. If there's any, has everybody saw the conditions?
Make sure that they're visible here now.
Any other discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, it's on Commissioner May.
No.
Yes.
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 No.
All right. Motion carries 3-2. Old business, consider approving the 2026 beer and wine license. And this is for, Boutonniere Winery, Calder Food Mart, Country Superette, Diamond Hill Grocery, La Cabana, Colbert, Wing House Grill. We'll just give them that.
You should.
My motto, carve it in my wall.
All right, so it's gotten quieter, and that's okay. Lacey, is there anybody that hasn't complied?
No, we have received 22 applications as of right now, and everyone has met the requirements for advertising, posting, fingerprinting, background checks. All of their requirements have been met. There are 6 that have not paid their licensing fees, but they will pay them before they get the license.
All right. So gentlemen, you have a list. If there's any questions, please ask Lacey, because this is her expertise, and she handles all the transcription of this.
So do you need a motion to approve the ones that completely complied, or do you want to include all the ones that?
I would suggest include all of them, because they know they can't get the license until they pay for it.
But they can meet all the other requirements of it, just other than the final.
The payment of the license, yes. They pay their application fees, they've gone through all the requirements. Now these 6 are usually the ones that come back every year and bring me a check the same day that I give them the license.
Okay. All right, thank you. So I entertain a motion of approval for 2026 beer and wine license.
I make a motion that the 2026 beer and wine license in its entirety, pending the 6 who have to pay for their license, that they did for, how do I word this, Mike?
I think we're approving all 16 of the applications. Yeah, actually picking up the license, I mean, It's already in the ordinance exactly the way Ms. Baker just said it. Yeah,
Just approve,
just approve the license application.
just approve the license application.
All right, so I have a motion by Commissioner Adams to approve. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Mr. Kirk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You want to be first? All right, new business, consider resolution authorizing, judicial tender tax foreclosure. Sorry, tax commissioner. Lamar Dawson.
I think y'all all regret it for you later. Y'all sure didn't know how to clear a room. Years ago, I was somewhere I shouldn't have been, and the man walked in the door with a 12-gauge shotgun, but I believe that was a whole lot quicker right there. I got a piece of property that Michael's familiar with. Doesn't have any title. We brought it up to tax sale, Lord, probably 10 years ago. AMS determined that it did not have a clear title, so Michael put me in touch with the company. We did a title search on it, and it was in fact true. So it's been sitting on the books since then, just rolling over. I kept all the lanes in 5 phase refreshed on it. Went to a conference last year, talked to a lawyer who represents the Georgia assessing tax officials, and he told me it was viable for a judicial in realm, that would legitimize the parcel. And contacted him. He's had major surgery, but he put me in touch with the Jet Law firm. Michael's already reached out to him and knows the wording on the resolution and everything. And short of a miracle, we're gonna probably take this one too. And it's a process. I'll probably have to pay for a survey for it. There'll be another title search. The good thing about it is all of the money that you spend on the front end is awarded and paid for by whoever gets it at the court here. And it goes through Superior Court, special masters involved, everything. But I do need a resolution from y'all saying that I have y'all's permission to do this.
All right. Gentlemen, if you're comfortable, I'll read the resolution. Whereas the General Assembly has found the non-payment of ad valorem taxes, the property owner effective shifts a greater tax burden to property owners willing and able to pay their share of such taxes. That the failure to pay ad valorem taxes creates a significant barrier to neighborhood and urban revitalization, and the significant tax delinquency creates barriers to marketability and of the property. And the non-judicial tax foreclosure procedures are inefficient, lengthy, and commonly result in title to real property which is neither marketable nor insurable. In addition, the General Assembly has found that the tax delinquents in many instances result in properties which present health and safety hazards to the public. And whereas the General Assembly consequently has enacted Title 48, Chapter 4, Article 5 of the Official Code of Georgia, authorizing the use of judicial in-rem tax foreclosures as an alternative to non-judicial tax foreclosure procedures. And whereas as a prerequisite to use of judicial in-rem tax foreclosure in Madison County, the Madison County Board of Commissioners Board must enact an ordinance or resolution authorizing the same. And whereas the board has determined that such authorization is necessary and appropriate for the public health, safety, welfare of Madison County and the citizens therefore of. Gentlemen, I would entertain a motion on this resolution.
Mr. Pruitt, does this cover anything in general that falls in this category, or is this specific to this one problem?
It's in general, and that's the way the statute reads. It authorizes the tax commissioner to use the judicial process if and when he feels it's appropriate. It would not be for all properties by any stretch.
This is an extremely rare circumstance right here that you don't have clear title on a piece of property.
Right.
We just don't have this resolution anywhere in our ordinance installed.
Exactly, that's right. It just shows you how rare it is. It's never come up.
Yeah, I am still working with the family, and it may be that it doesn't have to go this route. But if it does, I just need to have all my bases covered.
So we need a resolution to.
Correct. Motion to approve this resolution.
I make a motion to approve this resolution as stated.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Adams, second by Commissioner Kirk. Any discussion, gentlemen?
I guess a quick question, I mean, just from a policy standpoint, this is my vernacular, is this an approved one time that stays on the books forever?
It does.
Okay.
Unless and until it's rescinded.
That's fine, just trying to double check.
Any other discussion, gentlemen? Commissioner Dodd?
Yes.
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 Yeah. Now therefore be it resolved, now therefore the board hereby resolves that Madison County and the tax commissioner therefore may proceed with judicial in-rem tax foreclosure and delinquent taxes in accordance with the provisions of Title 48, Chapter 4, Article 5 of the Official Code of Georgia. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon approval by the Madison County Board of Commissioners, approved by the Madison County Board of Commissioners on the 29th day of December 2025.
I appreciate
Well,
it.
thank you
No,
for
I
at least
appreciate it.
taking care of this and getting it behind us.
Well, we're good to go. I appreciate y'all and what y'all do. I hope next year is as good as this last.
And you know, we just approved a resolution by a man that less than 2 weeks ago was impersonating Santa Claus.
What really impersonating my people? He got locked up though.
No, I saw you locked up.
You know, when the sheriff brought that idea to me, all I wanted was my bad son's Christmas card, and he took it a little bit further, and I said, ain't nobody in this world gonna bail the tax commissioner out of jail. Their tax thing.
Not ever.
I think we got $300 worth of toys, all we got out of it. Yeah. But I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Consider a preliminary plat for Madison Field subdivision for the Rose Founders LLC. Canolas, do you have to introduce this one from the P and Z standpoint?
I don't think so, but this did come before the P and Z, and we went over the preliminary plat, and we found nothing out of order. So therefore, we recommend to the Board of Commissioners that this preliminary plat be approved.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Katu. Good to see you again.
My name is Matt Katu, professional address 227 Sandy Springs Place, Sandy Springs, Georgia. I've got just a short, brief presentation on the residential development. That was the right one.
Oh, it is the right thing?
Yes, ma'am. And so what we've got here is.
We have the hard copies.
Okay.
They do have hard copies. Your copy might actually be better than that one.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's much better.
Here's what they have, Matt. if you want to look at it.
Okay, thank you. And so all we put together is just a couple renderings that show the site plan and the preliminary plat that we're proposing. We are holding to our conditions on that we'll have homeowner association, architectural control for the community. We still maintain the 65 cottages and 65 cottages and 82 estate lots. So the cottages were less than an acre, the estate lots were an acre plus. We still abide by that. We've modified the site plan just a little. I like to say that we've perfected it. We've met with multiple land use and land planners to come up with something that feels like a village, a community, very walkable. The idea is to keep it to where people can walk down the street and socialize with their neighbors. And so what we've put together with the help of Lou Oliver is a site plan that intermingles the cottages with the estate lots. So as you can see from your handouts and also on the screen. And then we have some images of just renderings of certain sections of the community that you can see on the left side and just highlight some of the aspects of the homes that are proposed on the right side. So pretty straightforward, in keeping with the initial zoning. And so we're just trying to keep things rolling out there, and we know this is part of the process, is getting the preliminary plat approved. So I'll be available for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Gentlemen, do you have any questions?
I think it looks really neat. What is the, on the previous slide, what is the amenity area?
So the amenity area right now, we're planning on like a cabana, a pool, and pickleball courts.
All right, any other questions?
Yeah, Matt, on the initial zoning application, we kind of had separation, if you would, from the true
Right.
residential to the cottage areas.
Yes, sir.
Can you just maybe elaborate a little bit how that kind of?
Absolutely. I spoke on this a little at the P&Z meeting. It honestly evolved through the process of looking at the plan. We had our initial site plan, but then we spent essentially a year talking about it, meeting with other land planners. And so what we came up with is a concept that really dates back to old world Europe and create a village that intermingles both the cottages and the estate lots, still internal to the property, but just goes to the themes that you see in like some old towns and old villages and even up in the Northeast. And really just no other thought than we massaged the plan and felt like we came up with a better plan than we initially proposed.
Matt, did that have anything to do with the sewer system? By moving them closer, did it help out any?
No, really, it didn't matter either way on the sewer system, on the community sewer. It just simply, it's the aesthetics of the community and just the massing of the buildings, and instead of having one section segmented, it's a little denser, and then a little less dense, we felt it'd be better to blend it. And also it made the community just a little more inviting for walking around.
Thank you, I didn't know. Thank you. Any other questions, gentlemen?
Other than essentially a cart path now that will connect the residential development with the golf club itself, that's the direction we're going in.
We will have a full road that connects it, and the purpose is for emergency use. So it'll be more than just a cart path. Yes, sir.
And here again, I don't have any objections to what you guys are doing here at all. And I visited the site, and it is well thought out. But it would be your intent now that a portion, example, the water service for the residential side will come onto the property off of the Pelican Springs Road now, is what it appears like to me.
Right.
And then the water for the golf club house and maintenance and support, that's still going to come in off the Sanford Road.
That's coming in off Sanford Road. Yes, sir. We actually have installed that already.
Yeah, and so I'm making the assumption then that the cost associated with extending the water line from the Sanford Road, Pelican Springs intersection to your access drive, you guys are going to pick up.
Yes, sir.
Of that.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, I'm fine with this.
All right, was that in form of a motion?
So I'm waiting on you to say. We have adhered to the condition of the total of 147.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, well, if there's no other discussion, gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that the preliminary plat and this program as presented to us tonight be approved.
All right. I have a motion by Commissioner Adams, second by Commissioner May. Any further discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, it's on Commissioner Adams.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Matt, I would have to applaud you and your staff and all the hundreds of people working over there on how that's coming. That process is moving way faster than I thought it ever would. I will say that we've had virtually no phone calls of complaints, and I do appreciate you calling directly and saying, hey, do you got any complaints I need to go address? I really appreciate that, because that way, if there is something, normally we try to, contact them anyway, but by you guys reaching out to us, it means a lot.
Absolutely.
You've done a great job.
No, it's been great working with the Madison County team as well, and we'll keep on going and make a good 2026, and Happy New Year to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. Consider an intergovernmental agreement with the court circuit district court reporters. I don't know that we have that yet.
I looked back when I saw that on the agenda.
I think that's a misprint, gentlemen, because we don't have the contracts back yet.
There was there was an email.
Waiting on TJ to mint.
Exactly, that was the last email.
And he said he was still working on it, so I think maybe Christina picked up on that.
I was going to ask a question related to that, and I appreciate that we put it off because we know more about it, but, and I believe you made mention of it earlier, I think there's a House Bill 179 that actually goes into effect January 1st that will allow, and this is legalese, and I know that the way y'all word things, it means whatever whoever's sitting in his face. But if I understand the verbiage of the thing, yeah, quite plumbing. It will allow, it's almost like they're trying to circumvent, in many cases, the need for an actual court recorder, as long as there's a digital recording of the proceedings.
Basically, yes. There will still be, so that statute authorizes but doesn't mandate use of a digital recording system. That's at the judge's discretion. And if it is used, it's not in all cases.
But it does alleviate some of the desperate need to find court record.
I'm not sure how that works in practice, because here's the last thing I was going to say. A court reporter still has to certify the transcript as being true and accurate. So maybe that alleviates the need to find one to be there, but somehow they still have to certify. They have to make a transcript from that and certify that it's accurate. So
I guess for me, that it demonstrates, because the law goes into effect January 1 rather than in July, which may be the norm, that a lot of other people are recognizing we got a problem.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Anyway.
All right, so I'm going to just postpone, or actually just remove it from tonight's agenda, because the documents are not here for that part. Road updates. We have a lot, and I'll address more road updates. I'll just take road updates from you guys now, because we got a meeting Monday night, and we'll get into those future updates. But anything you guys have?
I appreciate that up on Adderholt Rogers, that they are doing some of the remedial, they've begun the remedial work up there on the road, in cutting the patches and trying to establish a base under those. Here again, Adderholt Rogers was one of the roads in our county that essentially they grubbed the topsoil, knocked out most of the weeds, and paved. With that being said, I really need Alan and Derek to look at the intersection of Chandler Farm Road and Lake Deerfield Road, because and I'm not worried about Deerfield as a whole, but right at that intersection with the increase of construction in that development, that road's in the same condition. We need to put some kind of apron or something right there, because it's actually eroding out into the main county road.
All right.
That's
Mr. Chandler?
all.
I just want to comment, intended to be a compliment, on the new work done on Johnson Bridges Road. There are a couple of places that the new pavement obviously did not get a substantial base under it, and it's collapsing. And I was going to call and report that today, and they're already marked for repair.
Okay. I've already called that one up. Perfect.
Nobody's called me, but with the wind blowing today, I'll probably be a bunch of dishes for trees.
All right, Commissioner.
I think it's farming on Walrus Road. It's one of those farm roads that's been bladed out and just widened over time out of just sheer grading, and, you know, blading the roads and whatnot. We continuously have, we'll just call bad operators that go down there and like to do the donuts and all that kind of stuff. Might send an idea or two, some well-placed, maybe boulders or something that might not impede traffic, but somewhat reshape how the intersection works. And I mean, I know it's a safety thing, but maybe I should get with Alan on maybe somebody, I know we can't just get part of Rocky Road, but maybe discourage.
It's a good place for roundabout.
To discourage some of the bad actors.
Gotcha.
Cameras might be a good idea. That's a vote down there.
We put some down there, and it's like anything. It's just, you put cameras down there, somebody goes, and you take them away, and somebody, the timing, I guess, you know.
So, water updates, there is a new, form that you guys will be seeing in 2026. This is it right here. It's in your packet. And what we try to do was, we try not to overcomplicate the form, but yet have you enough information that you can understand, you know, the volume that we're buying and, volume that we're producing, and then the selling numbers, water and sewer, just so you have a perspective of how the year's going. We tried to pattern it after the permitting process before Teresa Patton sends out showing, you know, month by month, and then we have a track it year by year. And moving forward, we hope to see that our buying of water starts going down and the production of water in-house starts going up. But this is the form that you will see moving forward. Currently, there's not much data the way the old system was set up, so we're just going to start off fresh in 2026 and track it from now on. I will say that we finally got a drill rig today, praise Jesus, on Highway 98. We've been waiting over 4 months for a drill rig to come in and start those wells. I'll have an update in the morning on the first well. We have 2 going there currently. So, that's water update. Statements and remarks from citizens. All right. Statements and remarks from commissioners.
Yeah,
Where's, Blake? Oh. You mean Caleb? Caleb. That's all right.
Okay, anyway, I was gonna announce for him and anybody else that's interested to know that, I'm intending to finish out this term, and I will not be seeking re-election next year. We'll put that out there for anybody who might be considering running, because the qualifying starts on March 10th. So, if anybody's thinking about it, time to make that decision.
Is this like a non-negotiable? We can't like talk you into it, or do I need to call you tomorrow?
I mean, he's smarter than the rest of us.
Yeah, or what Commissioner Chandler said. Yeah, so.
It's not for all the children, Terry, don't worry.
All right, I did want to say, and Commissioner Chandler sent this out, or I got it this morning, and I hope everybody's got a copy of it. This is a letter that he wanted us to potentially sign and or send it on up to our state reps. After reading it, and we replied back, but obviously being a farmer, he's busy and don't have a chance to check his emails very often. I get it. He's out in the fields. We tried to clear up some of this stuff, so I don't know if you want an opportunity. We can move forward with this, but we'll need to change some of it. Or do you want to do it now, or do you want to?
That's just up to y'all. I mean, I sent it, it's been almost a month ago now, to everybody. My intent with that was just to make, and a lot of that, I have had, and we as individuals have had conversations with our representatives and senators about these specific issues, and some of them have been in the form of committee meetings, but just a way to formally put on their list, there's some things that y'all have control of that are affecting us. And, you know, the details of what has been done, that was not intended to be in the letter, but just to put some examples in there. This is what brought it to my attention that these are issues that y'all control that are affecting us. Please be looking at them in the upcoming session. So that was my intent, and that was what I tried the tone to be in that meeting, not to in that letter. So if it doesn't appropriately do that, then it needs to be changed. If it does, and y'all want to sign it, good.
Yeah, I don't think there's a tone in this at all. I think the intent of this is very accurate. I just think there's some things going on in the background currently that address some of these issues. So I did not know if you guys want to sign on to this entirety, or after you look and see what all is being currently addressed, do you want to change the request to more a detailed focus? I guess I don't know the right verbiage in that at this particular time. It don't take a vote, so it is something you just sign on to a letter. It's just an acknowledgement letter or a requested letter. It's not a voting type situation. So if you guys want to see it, want to sign it.
Actually, I think if there's going to be a quorum signing it, then it's going to need to be a public vote, because that would be a decision being made.
All right.
By the council as a
a majority. We're speaking as a body.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm 100% good with taking this in form of a motion.
I mean, it wasn't on the agenda tonight, so we just put it on the agenda for next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be Monday night, so yeah, I mean, it's not a problem. It'll give you an opportunity to at least read some of the potential rebuttals, because I know Mike replied in some of that stuff that we know that's happening in the background. A couple little clerical things, but it's actually very well written. I thought you got this.
Yeah.
Very well put together.
Okay, high school.
All right. I can't do that well. I have to get girls to proofread, as Lacey did earlier for me. All right, so we'll put it
to make sure it looked all
right. We'll put it back on the agenda for Monday night, Lacey, if you don't. Just remind me of that. Also, while you're there, write down food bank presentation Monday night. Just have to think about it. One last thing on statements and remarks from commissioners. So on Monday night's agenda, there will be the economic developer through the IDA MOU contract. Please look at those while we're all at the table. Make sure you look at those. We're going to need some verbiage cleanups, probably additions and or deletions of particular lines, whatever you feel best. But David Jones is here tonight, and after the meeting, if you have any questions for David that he can answer, because he's been directly talking with the person more so than I have. Any insight on that, we will definitely need that. There will be probably a special call meeting once we get a finalized document of the MOU that Mike has put together.
So it's final, except Exhibit A is the job description with the assignment of this position on the step and grade system. I assume you still use that.
Yeah.
So before your board can vote and your board can vote, somebody's going to have to fill that in on the job description.
Okay.
What step and grade
All right.
it's going to be.
But I still would like for this board to have an opportunity, because this will be a county employee, to make sure that all the I's and T's are crossed appropriately. And if everybody's concurrent with that, then they will have it. If you'll give us confirmation on you're good with the verbiage of it, then it'll go to the IDBA board. They will vote on it probably at a special call meeting on the 5th, and it'll come to us that night. Am I correct on that, or are we changing it?
As is, we have already verbally approved it. So
yeah.
I'll just wait. We're going to have a meeting on the 31st to formally vote on it. So I think the right thing to do is wait for you all to go back, review it Monday night. If there are changes, et cetera, give us the file. I don't imagine we're gonna have any breathtaking changes to it. I think it's pretty straightforward, but as soon as you do that, I'll call another board meeting and get our guys together, and we'll approve it, and then I'll move on to address it with, the candidate, because right now I can't do anything until I've got this agreement straight. Yeah.
And just to clarify that, there wasn't a verbal discussion outside the presence of the public. His board members individually responded to it.
Yeah, for clarity, yeah. And that's actually how it happened, believe it or not. I go back to my chairman's report, it's probably the most transparent day. All right, well, thank y'all. Thank everybody for their attention to that. I guess the reason that I want so many eyes on it is because of past things that was done that wasn't quite kosher. We want to try to be transparent this time and make sure we get it right the first time. So, all right. Yes.
Before you
Yes.
get out.
No, you're right.
There has been a couple of issues related to our P and Z that have been contentious, up to and including this evening's comments. I think it is imperative that we call CPL down here and figure out if they're gonna complete the contractual task to us and when it's gonna happen. Because it's one of these things, and I believe Derek dwells in this world like I do a great deal. If it's not in black and white, it's not. It ain't there.
Yeah.
And I think the issue we had with the transfer station, it may have been up for some debate about what our ordinance actually said, but at the end of the day, I believe that the proposed facility fell within what our ordinance currently states. Now, is it right? Is it wrong? We can talk about that all night.
Yeah.
But we really need to get this off the table because we're moving into our second year of this, and it's time to put a ribbon on it and say we're done.
Well, I echo Commissioner Adams' statement. I guess I would go one step further is, unless somebody tells me what, the final contractual obligations versus what they've provided to date and all that kind of stuff. I guess where I'm curious and possibly need possibly a work session is with our P&Z staff and say, hey, we have concerns or, we see, it's one thing for us as a body to say this is it, but they implement it, they see maybe the cross differences between what's there now, which is where we're going, and maybe can outline probably some unintended consequences or highlight things that need to be policy decisions that we can make. But I am in full agreement that we need to move this forward so we can give some final guidance and say, this is what we need to do.
I agree wholeheartedly. The last meeting that we had with them, one of the things that I brought up in visiting with the P&Z staff, they very much felt like that comments directed that helped influence CPL to what they have worked on to present to us were done much so without their input, and they are concerned. They have several specific concerns about what is the most recent final proposal, and in a response that I think I copied everybody. I don't know the way my email works, you can't tell. But that was one of the things that I shared with them, and one of the concerns that I have, maybe the way we have addressed that, is there's been a lot of attention to individual details, individual issues, if you want to put it that way. But there has not been good consideration with how those individual details interact or overlay with others, to the point that Teresa in the P&Z office has spent a good bit of time with the most recent final proposal. When a request comes in, she follows it through with our current ordinance and then walks through the CPL proposal. And they're struggling with that. And I get, and I think we have to recognize anything new is gonna have a growth curve, but the concerns that I'm hearing from them are beyond that. So it's, their feeling is where we are now is not a friendly document. And anyway, as a result of that conversation, one of the comments that I emailed to CPL was that considerable time needs to be spent with the people that are gonna be administering this to make sure that we have a document that we can work with. And that, you know, there's still some individual items that need to be worked out. But again, how those overlay, what opportunities are being created for potential abuse, and that has not been well addressed.
All right. Anything else, gentlemen, before moving on to urgent matters? Executive session to discuss real estate acquisition, personal matters, potential litigations.
No, sir.
Commissioner Doster.
Move adjourned.
We made it through 2025.
Well, yeah, first one.
We made it through 2025.
We got a couple days left.
Oh, man.
Couple days left. Just make sure, thank you for bearing with us tonight.
Anytime.
I got a full flat tire.
No, I knew it didn't do that.
Everybody has to have that board.
He's moving around.
Really decide if somebody's happy.
Like I said, he's just smarter than the rest of us.
I'm not gonna disagree with that.
They figure everybody's unhappy when they leave, they must have made the right decision.
The only thing I might would have done, Frank, is I would have said that before these folks left. You ain't got a home to go to.
Damn, that's funny.
Happy New Year, brother.
He's looking good.
Thanks, Mike.